Even our favorite dragon lady can make mistakes. And such we get the rise of Cleon the Butcher, Cleon the Great, King Cleon, but I'ma call him Cleon because his mama called him Cleon. And this goes all the way back when Daenerys Targaryen was convinced to go to Astapor to purchase some Unsullied, saw what conditions these slave warriors were living in and decided, hey, I'ma free them. And that's great. But in Slaver Bay, which is right here, that decision has consequences. Since the Unsullied was the city's main force of defending itself, there was no forceful authority to really keep the Dragon Lady's laws going. Now, after disposing of those evil masters, she did leave 3 people in charge. A merchant, a priest, and a healer was left in place to bring the city up as a place for free people. But the huge power vacuum could not be ignored. And like Renly Baratheon in Westeros, he looked around and said, why not me? That man was Cleon, a former butcher to one of the masters. Our boy convinced the newly freedmen that these appointed leaders were trying to re-establish the masters back in the power. He got them all riled up, got them all on his side because they were like, you're not putting me back in no chains. And with those leaders not having anybody to enforce their law, and this man essentially building a whole renegade army, he took the city back. He disposed of those appointed leaders, and then he went to the sons of all those former masters, had them castrated, and put them as the new untrained Unsullied. And of course, Cleon, the former butcher, named himself a king of Astapor, one of the great cities along Slaver's Bay. This man had risen all the way from a butcher to the leader of a whole little city-state. He already had a wife and children, but he took on more wives and, he got to live it up. At least for a little while. Because with Daenerys trying to destroy the institution of slavery in Slaver's Bay, a lot of the other cities and city-states and small nations in that area were not happy. And they were coming to destroy Meereen, where Daenerys was held up at. But before they went there, they were going to go to Astapor. So Cleon the king, Cleon the butcher, sent emissaries up to Daenerys saying, hey, look, if you want to come down and help us with your cool dragons, that would be great. And he would graciously push his wives to the side and take on Daenerys as his new dragon lady queen wife, because he was so generous like that. But alas, Daenerys said not so fast, because she ain't want to be dealing with no Cleon. I mean, he did kill the people that she left in charge, so that was always going to be a hell no. And Cleon the Great was slain in battle. Because when all those forces converged on Astapor, he really didn't have an army. He had a bunch of untrained Unsullied who never went through all those years of fighting and combat. When Cleon tried to run away, the new Unsullied tried to run away. And thus the quick reign was over. Cleon was gone. But he will never be forgotten. So shout out to you, Cleon, the Butcher King. And remember, y'all, if you ever try to take over a city or a nation in this universe, make sure you have a legitimate army. Make sure you have a legitimate army or something.